the average income of people in work is far higher than the state pension, for example, and millions of pensioners have little or nothing other than the state pension, which is pretty much the lowest in the developed world. And what I think is important to stress is that because we pay deliberately such a very low state pension, and we know that of the current cohorts of pensioners, not enough of them ever had a chance for a private pension. Today we've made changes, so for future pensioners that will be different. It's really important to stress that it is a political choice whether the country pays a decent increase or not. It's not a question of whether the country can afford it. We are one of the richest countries in the world, yet we pay one of the lowest state pensions. Therefore, it would be politicians choosing not to spend the money on protecting their pensioners rather than a question of affordability.
That's a compelling case for those who rest solely on the state pension. However, 2/3 of pensioners don't. 2/3 of pensioners have their own private pensions, other sources of income. What's the argument against means testing any increase so that those pensioners who are millionaires, as 1 in 4 pensioner couples are millionaires, for those pensioners who own their own homes and so aren't affected by house price inflation, actually are helped by house price inflation in the cases of those pensioners who rent out property? Why should all pensioners, especially those millionaires, be getting increases? Why not focus it just on those who are relying on the state pension?
We tried relying on means testing already, and the result of that was a sharp rise in pensioner poverty, because when you take away the universality of the state pension and you rely on people having some extra savings, if they are at the margin and they can't be sure that they're going to be able to save enough, they don't bother to save at all, because they think, well, if I do, I'm going to be penalised for it, because only the people who didn't save are going to get this much better pension than I'll ever get. So we have a system based on national insurance where the fundamental promise is you pay into national insurance, or you contribute in some way to the system through your working life, and the state will pay you a basic amount of money in return for that if you've contributed for enough years. If you start undermining that social contract, then you take away much of the basis on which our whole system works.